Oh, I'm so ready.
Peter's so ready. Welcome back, everybody. We've taken a 2-week hiatus because I was moving and Peter sucks.
I love being the afterthought.
You love what?
Being the afterthought.
Being
It
the
would have been better
afterthought.
if you said I suck and you were moving. So
That's true. You're right.
thank you.
But we also haven't uploaded a podcast in over 5 weeks.
And that is your fault because that is your job.
Hey, but also no, right?
Just saying.
Peter, why don't you tell the people why we haven't uploaded the past 3 podcasts?
Because I suck with technology and it's stupid.
He
And I don't like dealing with it.
To make sure
and
that
Devon makes me deal with technology after every episode. And I just sometimes get fed up and don't do it. Because I don't like technology.
No, it's because Peter's not all in. He doesn't really, you know how we talked about at the very beginning how like this was kind of your idea.
It was.
Someone cares about it much more.
Right.
And I'm quite disappointed, even though you're the one that said we should do a podcast.
Right.
And now I'm the one that does all of the work for the podcast.
Right.
And waits for you.
Right. For sure.
This is super good. This is a super good podcast between me and Peter.
I'm dealing with so much technology right now. Your file transfers just transferred, okay?
Yes,
and then I
dude.
just got like 6 notifications and I got overwhelmed. See,
Okay. Well,
if you
what you
go
need
back
to
and-
do, what
if-
you
no,
need
no, no.
to do.
If you go back and watch that last like 30 seconds, you'll see exactly what goes on in my brain as technology is happening.
Yeah,
Just
there's a giant chimp with freaking 2
it just
tambourines.
doesn't work, dude. It just doesn't work. I don't do well with technology.
It does work fine. You just get overwhelmed easy.
No, the technology's stupid.
You just get overwhelmed easy, huh?
Technology's stupid.
I can concur on occasion that technology is stupid. But yeah, we're back. This is episode number 19. We are excited to hit. I'm excited to hit the 20 milestone. Are you excited to hit the 20 milestone?
That will be fun, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. There's 52 weeks in a year. We've been doing it for over 20 weeks now.
Well,
with a couple of misses.
not really, because we've also done double weeks.
What? How many double weeks did we do?
3?
Really?
I think so. But I mean, we've missed weeks, so then the double week would count.
Yeah, so
into
we're
the
about
actual
20
week,
weeks in.
Yeah.
But you know, I think we're just trying to have fun and get into this, and we've got nothing here important here to teach anybody, which is the main thing, right, Peter?
But well, I mean, we are still sponsored by Slate Chocolate Milk. Brought to you by our lovely sponsor, Ultra Filtered Milk, lactose free, high protein. Check it out. Get it everywhere. Local grocery store, gas stations. It's carried everywhere. So
That was good,
Anyway.
dude. You've been practicing.
carry on, Devin.
Yeah, no, he's been practicing. He really wants Slate to sponsor us.
I just don't understand why they're not, to be honest.
Probably because we don't upload our podcasts, Peter.
Again, not my job.
Hey, but also, yes, it is. Because if I don't get your audio, I can't upload the podcast.
I'm sending the third one your way.
Okay, thank God. Well, in the past 2 weeks, it kind of seems like everything is tumbling down. In the financial markets, at least, which
I got a lot of red. And remember, like a few weeks ago when I was saying I got a lot of red? I got a lot more red now.
well, we all know Peter's investing history is red.
I think everyone's investment history over the last 2 weeks has been red.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying over your investing career.
I made 2 poor investments, and that's what's put me in the red. That's the only thing. Luckily, it was a very minor amount of money,
Yeah, but yes, everything.
and I lost it all.
Everything's come crashing down. Bitcoin is sitting just over 21,000 when it hit high of about 69 a few months ago, 69,000.
Are you going to invest in Bitcoin?
I've already been invested in Bitcoin,
Yeah, same.
and it's it's hurting right now. But I mean, I really don't care. The main thing is if you're investing, you got to make sure that you're not investing for tomorrow. You're investing for years
Preach.
from now.
That's beautiful.
Because it makes it a lot easier to get through this shit when you're not worried about
another 35 years.
Yeah, sure. 35 years. That's what I was thinking for sure. But
30, and then you don't have to pay capital gains. 35,
Yeah, but,
59.
well, I'm going to end up paying the capital gains tax so that I can invest the money in better places, most likely.
Cool. I'm not. What up?
Not much.
Nice.
Peter, here's in other news. Peter also passed his little test.
My little test. It is passed.
The one that he failed.
I didn't fail it. I just didn't pass it.
That was,
and there's no in between.
Was that week 1 or week 2?
That was week early. I had to wait 90 days to retake it.
No, but of the podcast, was that week 1 of the podcast?
No, I don't think so. It was early on, but I don't think it was week 1.
It's been 3 months since then.
Yeah.
And Peter's finally passed it. How was it?
Harder the second time.
Really?
Yeah, the best part is I only got 3 points more than I did the first time, but I passed this time instead of fail.
It was harder this time.
Yeah.
Is it just because you had to take it again and it sucked having to take it again?
That, and I studied the first time.
You didn't study?
I reviewed for like 2 days beforehand.
Okay. That's not terrible.
And it's like a massive test, so.
Yeah. Well, and you had to pay for it. Did you have to pay for the retest?
Yep.
That's brutal.
Yeah, the first test was $350. The retest was $250.
God damn. Well, now you're certified, right?
Yeah, I'm a strength and conditioning specialist.
Wow. Fancy.
Fancy schmancy.
Fancy name, huh?
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing with that, Peter?
Right now we're running a young athletes program.
Love it.
So that's been fun. Have 38 young athletes signed up.
That's pretty freaking good, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's been cool.
Okay.
That started Monday.
It started on Monday.
Yeah. But basically it's just kind of a certification to have in my back pocket so that when I leave Missoula, then I can have it and be hired easily.
Does it last forever?
I have to do it does as long as you do continuing education.
Okay. Which is?
I'm not sure. I have to review that. I don't have to turn my continuing education in for 2 years. So.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Hopefully you could remember the stuff that you worked on for 2 years.
Hopefully. Kind of forgot it all already.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is, though, huh?
Yeah.
I never remembered anything from tests.
It's because you're dumb.
That's also probably part of the problem.
Dude, have we talked about how amazingly hard oranges are to peel?
Yeah, we actually have, Peter.
Yeah, I know we have.
Because you suck at it.
It's just like...
And you eat on every goddamn podcast.
I'm a hungry boy. I'm growing.
No, you just pick the worst times to eat.
You pick lunchtime to have a podcast. I don't know what the difference is.
Dude, it's after lunch.
Well, I took a nap.
Priorities, man.
Yeah, sleep.
You couldn't shove a little bit of food in your mouth prior to the podcast?
No, I did. And then I was going to eat my orange, and then you yelled at me and got all mad at me for not turning in my files like a damn professor. And then I had to turn in my homework late, and then I didn't have time to eat, so then I ate my orange, and yeah.
I also reminded Peter to send me those files at about 9 this morning.
I was busy.
All right, well, enough of ridiculing Peter.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love Peter, he makes life hard sometimes, but
I make life way easier for everyone around me.
well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me,
I mean,
it's not always true.
It's objective.
Well, let's talk about the Fed raised rates by 0.75% today, which is the largest increase since 1994. How do you feel about that, Peter?
It's a good short-term plan.
Continue.
It's gonna make the stock market go up and be green.
You think that the Fed raising rates is going to make the stock market go green?
For a bit.
Why?
I don't know. Isn't that how it works?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, well then.
The Fed raising interest rates actually makes it harder for people to get money. It makes money more expensive in terms of loans and, stuff like that, which makes people spend less money, invest less money. So most likely with a 0.75, with the largest increase since 1994, we'll probably see another week of red, pretty deep red.
Why is it green today?
Well, that could be anything. There's a lot that happens to the market, but this was announced today. But we also got last week, we got the CPI for what was last month? April, May,
June.
No, it's not July yet, dude. May, we got the CPI report, which was 8.6% inflation year over year.
That's not good.
And the year before that, for the same month, was like 8 point something percent, which means we have over 16% inflation in 2 years.
That's not good.
That is not good. And so that's why we have the Fed raising rates 0.75%.
So is the dollar bill going to be less than?
Well, so
do you want cash in this scenario or do you want investments?
Unfortunately, with the way that this is going, you don't want, this is like a really shitty storm that you just have to sit through.
It doesn't matter what you have. It's all
yeah. I mean, investments are great, but everything's gone red, right? Cash is great, but it's worth less than it was 2 years ago.
So now you want gold.
Gold hasn't even increased that much. This is just one where you cut all of your costs, like your expenses, and you just kind of hunker down.
Damn.
At least that's what I think. And I'm hoping that it's only going to be 12 to 18 months of a downturn. Like, we're in a recession currently. We've talked about this, but it's going to be interesting the next year, seeing how the Fed has to continue doing this, which sucks because it makes money more expensive, but it also evens out the market. It reduces inflation, and it's hard because in some capacities it's necessary, but in others it's not. So for people who are on the lowest income, inflation is super impactful because the CPI print it's pretty much just the basket of goods from your grocery store, right? So this is stuff that average Americans are buying, and they're measuring what the difference in price is year over year. And so when you have 16% increase in 2 years, those people at the lowest rungs, they're not getting raises. They're working minimum wage jobs. They're not, making more money, and they can't just go to their boss and be like, hey, I need a raise, because when you're at that level, that's not really how it works necessarily. But it's going to make it much harder, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck, or if you're really low income, you're not going to be able to afford the food that you were able to afford 2 years ago. And those are the people that it impacts the most. And that's why it's necessary for the Fed to make these decisions, because they have to kind of look out for those people. Because those people aren't, also, most of them aren't the ones that understand what's going on.
Right.
Like, I don't know how much you pay attention to it, but most people don't know that there was a CPI print of 8.6%, which means, you know, the 8% inflation year over
I know
year.
that now.
Right. And most people aren't paying attention to that. So unless you have the means to just ignore that, it's really going to impact you, and you're not really going to understand why. And you're not really going to know where to go in terms of, like, you got to get another job. You got to find a better paying job, whatever it is.
Are you telling me I have to get another job?
Peter does need another job. And that other job is actually this podcast. And I need, for one, I need him to take it seriously. And for two, we need that place to sponsor us.
Question.
Yeah.
Can I get fired from my second job?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. The
Right.
the jury's out on that one. I don't think so.
Can I actually take less hours on my second job?
No, you cannot take less hours on this job. God damn it, Peter. No.
Okay. All right. Just so we're on the same page. Just wasn't sure where you were coming from, where I was coming from. You know, just want to make sure we're on the same page.
We do need more people to listen, and we need more people to share and like, so that we can.
You should share it on your Instagram story.
Okay, hey, so like I do that every time, and then Peter doesn't, even though I tag him in it.
That does pop up.
Yeah.
Get a little notification.
And then you just ignore it.
I look at it.
But ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why? Are you embarrassed, Peter?
No.
Are you embarrassed by our conversations?
No, our conversations are fantastic.
They are fantastic. I agree. This one is not so great, but most of them are fantastic.
Why? We were talking about interest rates.
Well, I think, yeah, now it's going good. But our first 10 minutes were pretty stinky.
That's because I was trying to deal with technology that you made me do. This is why I don't do technology, because then I get blamed.
I didn't blame you.
Yeah.
I wasn't firing on all syllables either.
Sure, all syllables. That's what we want.
That's some people might understand that reference. But also, so we were talking about people needing to find new jobs, right?
Right.
Higher paying jobs. Everybody's laying people off right now. Tesla's laying people off. Coinbase is laying people off. Most of the large companies are laying people off because we're in a recession. They're cutting back their costs because they understand what they need to do. And the largest cost is labor costs for most companies.
So we're going back to 2008.
I know Coinbase is laying off 18% of their workforce. Tesla is laying off 10% of their workforce.
Dang.
You know,
Tesla sucks.
This is a sucky position to be in because there's no good way of getting out of it.
Are you laying off people?
Huh?
Are you laying off people?
We are not laying off people currently. It's a little bit different in the service industry. You kind of just...
me.
Huh?
Bless me. I sneezed.
No, I don't do that for people.
Okay.
But it's a little bit, you know, you don't really... I mean, you can fire people, but you also kind of just don't give them hours if we don't have enough people.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. It's definitely slower right now, but our slow months are always June and July. So we were kind of anticipating this, but we've never had proper, you know, cost management necessarily in terms of food costs. So we're working on getting all of that understood, and it is quite intense. It's just a lot of work. But once we get that going, everything's going to be running really well because we're doing much better than we've ever done as a restaurant. So I'm very grateful for that. But, you know, back to what we were talking about, one of the weird things is, you know, our president continues to blame the war for the inflation.
Joseph.
Huh?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Joe Biden.
Oh, it's Joseph?
Yeah.
I thought his first name was Joe.
It's Joseph.
Yeah, he continues to blame Putin and the war for the inflation, when in actuality, I think that it's maybe the 40% of our current currency that was printed in the past 2 years. I think that's more likely to be the problem for the inflation, right?
Yeah.
Because if you understand inflation is how much you can buy with a certain amount of money. When you bring more money into that market, it makes the value of each dollar less. So when we print 40 billion, 5 trillion, all of these crazy amounts of money, that makes each one of our dollars worth less money, especially if it's just sitting in a savings account. Well, I mean, in some cases it's necessary because people get scared and they hold their money. And when you hold your money, there's not enough money circulating the economy to continue to stimulate it. So the Fed and the government has constantly been on this. We've got to continue to stimulate the market. There are no downturns. They're under this idea that they can eliminate downturns, which is not realistic. That is, part of business is, ups and downs. Part of everything is ups and downs, right? So you have to have you have to have some slumps so that you can really understand like what the true value of things are. And so during the pandemic, everyone stopped spending money because no one was even going out.
It's their fault too.
Yes, I agree. But they decided that they needed to give people money so that they would spend it. Because that's what boosts our economy, is just people spending more money. So they were like, here's $40 billion. Go spend it on something. And it artificially boosted our economy for, a year and a half. And now we're really starting to see the downturn of all of that. 16% in inflation in 2 years is kind of just ridiculous.
Do you think the market will go as low as March 2020?
I don't think so, because this is less of I think it depends, because I think if you are this is more of a correction than it is there's some panic involved here for sure, but this is more of a market correction than it is the world's fucking coming to an end, right? Which is what March 2020 kind of felt like. So in March 2020, everything fucking went down. Everything hit rock bottoms. And it didn't matter what it was. I really
wish I just put $1 million into the market then.
I mean, for sure, if you had $1 million, that's when you wanted to put it in.
Yeah.
Right? But I think right now it's more looking at the companies and being like, well, is this actually worth that much? There's some panic for sure, which is bringing the whole market down, but mainly like there are companies like Peloton, Zoom, those companies that had a huge surge during the pandemic that were artificial because everyone was like, well, we can only be at home now, so we've got to do all of this through technology, right. That were bumped because of that. And now everyone's like, well, I don't know that it's really worth that much. And then you see earnings and you see that Peloton is having to cancel. They're literally not making machines anymore because they have enough in inventory for the foreseeable future. They've shut down their factories.
It's because they suck also.
Sure, they suck as well. I have no opinion on them, but Peter hates them, so I fucking hate them. But I think it is more of a market correction than anything.
I have put money into my account, but I haven't invested it in the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to keep going down, so might as well wait.
Well, that's a common idea, right?
Well, I know, but it is. Like, I'm not trying to time it. It's
like
just
I said, it depends on
down.
what you're investing in.
Like ARK ETF?
I'm sure ARK is getting fucked because it's all technology stocks.
Yeah, it is not doing well for me.
Yeah. Tech stocks are usually the ones that get absolutely obliterated the most. Because they're the most. I honestly don't fully understand why, but I mean, I get it for like new tech. So if you're talking about like a Rivian or a Lucid Motors, like those are brand new companies. They've never lived through a recession as a company. They are making a product that is really fucking hard to make. And they've only been doing it for a few years. Those companies, when things get hard, are the ones that fail almost immediately, right? Because they don't understand what it takes to go through something like this. They also don't have the scale to be able to really withstand something like this. So, I mean, Elon just talked about this the other day, that Rivian and Lucid both have to cut costs dramatically if they don't want to go bankrupt in the next year. And I think that this might be the awakening of large automotive companies really hitting the fucking fan.
Like
Ford, like GM, like Volkswagen.
Why?
Because they are so heavily leveraged that it is absurd. They have so much debt, it is bonkers.
So what's a good company that's going to survive this and then
Tesla.
thrive after it? Shocking. Okay.
But it's not. I believe in Tesla because I understand the company, right? And I understand like the way that they're doing things. Tesla, for one, doesn't want to have large amounts of debt because it's not beneficial for them. And they actually make money on all of their cars, so they don't have to take large amounts of debt out. So Tesla has I saw this the other day, but Tesla has something like 12 billion or something like that in total debt. And then the combination of, Volkswagen, Ford, GM, they've got somewhere like 230 to 300 billion in debt.
Jeez. So I'm going to put all my money in Tesla then.
I mean, that's what I've done. And that's why I it's because I've done crazy amounts of research on all this. Here, look at this. So Tesla currently has a total outstanding debts of 11.69 billion. General Motors has a total outstanding debt of 108.89 billion. Ford has a total outstanding debt of 152.67 billion.
Jeez.
And that's not even including Volkswagen, who is extremely leveraged as well. I think they may have more debt than both of them, which when we're talking about rate hikes, when we're talking about a slowdown, doesn't go well.
No.
Like one of the first things that you cut from your expenses when there's a slowdown is a new car purchase. right?
Right.
Because that's a big fucking purchase, and it sits with you every month. And then now they're having to pay more on all this debt. You know, I don't see those companies lasting a deep recession.
So are student loans going up then? Interest rates?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
Should probably check on that.
I should. But, you know, the old Joe Meister was trying to get at least 10 grand ripped off the top of all of our debts.
Could you imagine? I'd take out a student loan of 10 grand just
I know.
for it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I keep getting the emails. They're like, we're almost there. Student debt. We're about there. He's right on the doorstep of fucking, we're going to take down all the student debt. And I have student loan debt. But I see those and I'm like, what? We've literally got 14% of the population has student loans. 14.
Yeah.
So you're going to say the other 86% of the population has to pay for those student loans? Are you fucking kidding me? That's so ridiculous. I'm going to take it if they do it. Right?
Well, duh. Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's
honestly,
stupid.
I wouldn't be surprised if this administration does it.
I really would. I don't know what it would surprise me, honestly. I think that if they did it, I don't know, because I feel like all of the people that are on Twitter are the people that have student loans.
Right.
So I don't know how much backlash they would get. They would definitely get it, I think, in the elections.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that someone in the Joe Biden administration said that Joe Biden was going to run in 2024.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious because he's dead.
Literally, currently, he's dead.
But then the Democratic Party came out and they're like, we're not, no.
No, he's terrible. We're not doing that. And then they're going to back someone like Kamala, though, so.
I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. I didn't even know Kamala Harris still existed.
Yeah,
I thought she died too.
She's still chugging away as vice president.
That's like, if they backed Kamala Harris, they would be shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Because no one likes her.
No one likes Joe Biden either.
Oh, for sure, no one likes Joe Biden, but no one likes Kamala Harris. Dude, Kamala Harris went into hiding for a while. I swear to God, the administration was like, hey, we can't have you
talking.
People fucking hate you.
We can't even have you showing face.
Yeah, I think that this next presidential election will be interesting.
It's gonna be two terrible candidates again, and it's gonna be whatever.
I really just hope we get someone that's at least like 50.
Joe Biden is at 39% approval rating.
I think that's one of the lowest since like.
That's lower than Trump.
Oh, it's definitely lower than Trump, but Nixon, I think it's Nixon levels.
Jeez.
So, and I wasn't
Nixon
around for Nixon,
flooded
so I don't.
Watergate or something.
Huh? What?
I said a Nixon flooded a Watergate or something.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think that this administration has royally fucked us.
But they're going to blame it on Trump.
Of course. Well, I mean, you can already see it. That's what I was talking about is Biden is already blaming Putin.
Yeah.
For them deciding that they wanted to print all this fucking money.
Right.
You know, 40% of all of the money in circulation was printed in the past 2 years. And you don't think you're going to have outrageous inflation? Yeah. I mean, even a dead person could see that.
Joe couldn't. He's dead.
I think he The problem is all these people understand what they're doing, but they're just prolonging the next problem, right? They're not looking at these problems and thinking, okay, what
They're
could
not
I
thinking
do?
long-term America.
What could I do to benefit the people, the America 10 years from now, right? Because eating an inflation is going to help us, or eating a recession, I mean, is going to help us.
Right.
Because
but no
it's
president
natural.
wants a recession on their record.
No. And Jeremy Powell, the Fed administrator, is the first to have 2 recessions on his hands. And recessions are interesting because they can go unnoticed if they're small.
Right. But
He
he's
had
had
a
massive ones.
He had a recession in 2018 that no one even noticed.
Right.
And now he has another one that's much worse.
Right.
But the first Fed admin to have 2 recessions on his hands.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what happens from here, but I'm not, and we're continuing the cycle. Biden announces $1 billion of new aid to Ukraine.
Why?
Because they think it's in their best interest, and I'm sure.
Is it?
I'm sure.
Like, what does Ukraine do for us?
Well, the problem is there's a lot of interesting ties, the Biden family in Ukraine.
Well, yeah. The laptop story, isn't that from Ukraine?
Well, the laptop story was in the United States, but a lot of the information on the laptop is from Ukraine.
Right.
But the Biden family has taken a lot of money from Ukraine, as far as I know. And obviously, this is you should fact check this podcast, so don't come at me. But
I don't think anyone's listening, so it doesn't really matter. No one's coming at you.
God damn it, Peter.
Mark that. Put that on Instagram.
I'm not really sure. I think that Biden thinks that if he can hurt Putin, it's going to help him.
Is the war even going still?
It is. The war is still happening, and it got worse. Russia started targeting some more civilized areas. And then Xi Jinping, who is the, what do they call him? The Chancellor of China. I don't know what the hell they call him. The head of China, Xi Jinping, just had a phone call on his 69th birthday with Vladimir Putin because they're good friends.
Xi Jinping and Putin?
Yeah. They also celebrated his 66th birthday together.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're trying to take over the world.
They are, for sure. And the funny part is, and I'm sure Putin is smart enough to understand this, but he sees some gain in it for himself, is Xi Jinping and China are just trying to use Russia for their gain. It's not. Russia does not do very much for the world economy. There's not much influence that Russia has over the world.
Right.
And that's probably one of Putin's problems with all of this, is that this is the only reason he's relevant currently, is this war.
Right.
And he has cancer, allegedly, and, he's probably on his way out. So
cancer's scary, man. How do you even remember or realize that you have cancer? Have you ever had that feeling like, what if I have cancer right now and I don't know it?
Every day.
Like, actually, though.
No, I mean.
And then you're like, I need to go to a doctor and get all the scans.
Yeah, you ever, like, sometimes you'll just have those problems, like a bodily problem, and you're like, this is it. And then you, like, think about all of it. You're like, I'm not going to tell anybody except for close people, And you're like, I'm just going to ride it out.
And then you don't actually go to a doctor, and then you think about it 2 years later, and you're like, if I had cancer, I'd probably be dead.
Yeah, you're like, I think I'm good. I think it's all
I
good.
survived. I survived.
Woo! Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what you do on your way out. I mean, he's crazy, and he hasn't done much for anything really.
Right.
So I don't know what do you do on the way out, and he still has nuclear weapons, and what happens when that, like, if at the very end he decides that that's what is going to happen.
Wild. I just went on Twitter. Breaking news. Dr. Fauci has tested positive for COVID-19.
I did see that.
And he has 2 vaccinations and 2 boosters.
He didn't get the 3rd booster?
I know. That's why he got it. He got the natural 3rd booster.
Yeah. I mean, who cares at this point? I mean, seriously, if I had a family member, if I had a family member who died from COVID, thank God I don't. And we get to this point in COVID, right, where it's like a flu, like a light flu,
right?
And then people are only ever talking about who has COVID. I'd be like, fuck you. I literally don't care.
Right.
Especially Fauci.
Right.
Who gives a flying cheek if Fauci...
A lot of people, actually. Go look at Twitter.
But why? Why do you think
he's their superhero? He's their superhero of power emblem.
Is that true? Do people still idolize Fauci for this shit?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
They think he's the savior.
I don't know how... It's really interesting to live through life and understand, think about how people can be in so many different places mentally.
Right.
Like, how do you get a QAnon type or a far leftist, right? How does that happen? Because not all of it is mental illness. Mental illness can talk about some of it, but not all of those people are mentally ill.
Right.
Do they really just have like less intelligence, or where did they get was it a dad dying early situation leading into the wrong crowd?
Punk rock situation.
Yeah, stage. Dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. Because if you look at things and you think about things, it seems like it would be pretty easy to come to like a pretty neutral, simple, like close to what we talk about conclusion about most of these things.
Right.
Right? I think me and you have a little bit more right-leaning ideas, but we're pretty centrist.
On some things.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Overall, we're pretty centrist.
Also, for instance, gay marriage. Being gay, if you're right-leaning, you're supposed to be a homophobe. And it's definitely, I just don't care.
Just do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't try and make me a part of it.
Right.
I've never been with or against necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not the one to go to a gay pride parade. Right. Just not my thing. But I'm also not the one to go throw water balloons at the people at the gay pride parade.
They'd probably love that, for being honest.
But you know what I mean? I genuinely just do what you want with your body. Do what you want with your life. I'm going to be over here. Don't care.
I can't imagine caring that much about what other people do.
But I think that stance, that's considered homophobic, I'm pretty sure.
What we just said?
Yeah.
Right, because we're not allies.
But we are.
Right. We know because for sure, go for it. We don't care.
Yeah.
wear the shortest jeans. Not saying that that's a gay thing, but wear the shortest jean shorts, right? And
I had this conversation with someone the other day, and I was curious, like, what is the purpose behind like the gay parades and like wearing as little clothing as possible?
yeah, dude, there was a comedian.
I'm genuinely curious.
There was a comedian who, fuck, I forgot what his name is, but there was a comedian who said something on one of his podcasts, and the podcast got taken down. And what he said was, "Can we at least do the gay pride parade at night so that I don't have to explain to my daughter, why that man was wearing a thong or something like that?"
I mean, that's fair. Like, honestly, like,
I think he
like-
said before lunch or something like that. So I don't have to explain it to my daughter before lunch.
gotcha.
Right? Like,
yeah.
it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, a joke.
Like, and if that's considered homophobic, like, I'm sorry, but I am literally genuinely curious why it's like wear as little clothing as possible.
I was just thinking about this because the New Mexico United have a drag day.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. Awesome.
which is fantastic. I don't care. However, I was there last year when they did it with one of my friends, and there was this one guy who was wearing huge tits, right?
Wearing?
No. So I guess, I don't know. I'm confused. All right. I'm going to be honest. I don't know whether it's a guy or a girl, whatever, but
There was this human.
huge tits, right? You could see the whole thing, except just like this much of them, and with like a little string. I don't care. However, this is a family event.
Right.
I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you're dressing for this thing. There are children watching a soccer game who don't need to see your tits.
Right. Like, I just, like, on any other day besides, like, a gay pride event or pride event day, like, you could get arrested for wearing that little clothing.
Right.
In public.
And if I say something about it, I'm attacked.
Yeah, and I just don't get it. Like, I'm not homophobic, and if this is considered homophobic, then this is shocking, because this isn't homophobic. Like, this is nudophobic, I guess, nakedophobic. I don't care what.
Peter's scared of nudity.
I don't care what sort of human you are, who you like, who you don't. When you're in public, like, I didn't ask to see you half naked when I'm going to get my sandwich at the sandwich shop. Like,
let's just dress
I'm just
decent.
Curious.
Just dress decent.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just curious why they go hand in hand, you know? Like the Black Lives Matter parade and rallies, they were wearing clothes.
That's true. They were definitely clothed.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, other rallies and events, everyone's usually wearing clothes.
Well, it's like, I think it comes from like Mardi Gras.
Does it?
I don't know. I'm just assuming, because I think that a lot of... I'm treading into weird waters.
Like, I have a lot of gay friends. I have a lot of gay cousins. Like, I know a lot of people that are gay. And, like, I don't care. Awesome.
Dude, they're happy. Fun.
Yeah. Like,
because they don't give a fuck. They're super
they're
fun.
Awesome. I love them. Yeah. But I am genuinely just curious why it's a synonymous thing to go to an event like that and not wear clothes. Like, I'm just curious. Like,
well, like I said,
that's just my question. It's my question for the day.
I do think it comes from Mardi Gras, because like when you go to Mardi Gras, it's just a big party where you're just, everything's free, right? And I feel like there's a lot of gays.
And
why is gay worse when you put an S at the end?
Because it's like
because I say guys or girls. Why can't I say gays?
Because they're gay people. or people that are gay.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Guys are people that are men or guys.
I'm not sure what the proper PC politically correctness is there. I'm not sure.
It does
I'm
sound wrong though when you say it. When you say gays,
right?
You're like,
right.
Oh, I don't know. That doesn't sound right. What are you looking up, Mardi Gras?
I'm looking at why do gay pride parades wear no clothes?
It's something that I feel like should be addressed.
Pun intended.
Yeah. Pun intended. That was a good one from me.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I'm just curious. And maybe it is sort of like I couldn't find anything. Maybe it is sort of like the relationship with like feeling free and like stuff like that, which is awesome. Just give me that answer and I'll move on with my life. Like, I'm just curious.
But yeah, no, I understand the want to just feel like yourself.
Right.
Right. But I have those feelings as well.
But you don't see you going down with a thong downtown Albuquerque?
Not necessarily a thong, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I don't have those feelings. I wonder if that's like an intrinsic feeling for the people who dress like that. They're just like, I want to be just out there.
I would feel incredibly uncomfortable if I was out in public in a thong.
Yeah. Well, you know, more power to you, I guess, huh?
I'm usually uncomfortable at like a public swimming pool when I'm wearing swim trunks and no shirt.
No, Peter, we all know that you wear a swim shirt.
I should, because I get sunburned. But it's interesting.
No, it's just interesting. Yeah.
I don't know how we got on that topic, but
I actually don't know either. I'm confused.
Because we were definitely talking about economics and.
Well, we were talking about political leanings. I think that's how we got there.
Oh yeah, and then I brought yeah. Checks out.
It does check out. Peter, how often do you think about life?
What do you mean?
What are we doing here?
I'm not getting into the simulation conversation with you.
I'm not getting into the simulation conversation, Peter. We've already talked about that.
I don't know. Not very often. I just kind of live it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Live it to the fullest.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I think we've come to our natural conclusion.
Okay.
It was 50 minutes of conversation. So debauchery is what the word is. Debauchery.
Debauchery.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. This was episode number 19. Next episode, number 20.
I'm not coming ever. This will be my last episode. I want to thank the fans. I want to thank everyone that's listening.
And Peter, you didn't even notice my nice backdrop.
Yeah, it is a little stupid.
No, hey, it's not stupid.
What's that National Geographic?
Geographic? Dude, it's from 1979.
And what is it?
I don't know, some Asian kid.
Why?
I didn't read it.
Yeah, you just have random stuff up there that has no.
This is not random. This is from my grandfather's stuff. All of these pictures, these are actual slides from my dad's travels around the world. This is my mom's dad's old camera. These are my mom's dad's slides. And then these are videos. Dude, all of this shit.
What's E250? Or F250?
That's a truck that my dad was working on when he passed away.
Nice.
So it all ties in.
What are the binoculars?
Those were my grandfather's. He liked looking at birds.
What else you got in there then?
Well, the National Geographic, dude, I got an old Mac, like the very first Mac.
That's pretty cool.
Laptop. Got an old camcorder that was my grandfather's.
Do you like the Coke bottle?
Got an old Coke bottle.
That's kind of a fake old Coke bottle. But
I forgot to turn the light on, but you can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. I got this like thermostat reader thing over there. Temperature, the pressure in the room, all of that sort of stuff. That was my grandfather's. Got another set of binoculars.
You gotta hide that cord, man. It's taking away from the aesthetics.
I know. I haven't worked on it yet. I haven't.
Well,
I'm not having two people here yet, so I didn't need to hide it yet.
Well, you're showing it on national podcast television right now. And
national
it's not
podcast television?
Yeah.
That's a channel that you should start, Peter.
I should.
Yeah. I've got
like
How
MTV.
to Invest in Stocks, that book way over there.
See that. Yeah.
That was my grandfather's. Got some of my grandfather's old military, like hat, the Defense Nuclear Agency. Oh, you can't see that one, but
you should put your diploma in there.
I don't even know where my fucking diploma is.
Neither do I.
I have no idea. I could care less.
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening.
Get an office.
Yeah. What?
I gotta get an office.
What you need to get is a goddamn desk light, at least.
No, I think we're gonna jump straight to an office.
Okay, I like it. I do. That's how I operate too. So. Good pod. I
Over and
suppose.
out.
We'll see you in episode 20. Goodbye.
Bye.